Hello, ladies. I am curious if you've ever been told that you're intimidating. If you've ever been told by one of your guy friends or one of your girlfriends or one of your colleagues, like, wow, I don't know how to talk with you, or you're so intimidating. And yet you wonder, like, well, why? I'm nice. I'm sweet. Like, I'm funny. I'm easy to talk to. I'm outgoing. A lot of times women will say that they get told that they're intimidating, and it's confusing to them because a lot of times they're actually really warm, outgoing, loving people. But what I find is that it's a real problem if we're being told we're intimidating because we start to blame ourselves. We start to think, well, okay, like, I guess I need to not shine my light. I guess I shouldn't talk about who I am. I guess I need to, be more passive or be more of a wallflower. And none of that is actually true, but we can sometimes make up a story that, there's something wrong with us because someone tells us that we're too intimidating. Now, let's be clear, ladies, there are going to be people that you intimidate no matter what, and that's okay. Those might not be the sort of person that you want to have in your life. Someone might say something like that because they're jealous or they don't know how to win your affection or all of those things, and that might not be the high quality man that you want. However, the problem with being intimidating or being told that you're intimidating can sometimes be that the people who are willing to break down what seems to be this, this not ivory tower, but this hurdle, if they're afraid to approach you or they think it's hard to approach you, the men who will do that, who will climb the ivory tower, are sometimes the crazies. And I don't know how else to say that, but the people who are just going to get over all of their fears and just approach you and all of that, sometimes are either not actually available and they're not in integrity, they're just going after what they think they want, or they might be narcissists. Like, the hallmark of the narcissist is that they come on super strong, and then once you let your guard down, then they pull the rug out from underneath you, right? Like, most of us have dated someone like that, and it's painful. So if you've ever been told that you're too intimidating, and if you've ever found that the men who do approach you either are like super passive and you're not interested or you're not physically attracted to, or the ones who finally win your heart are the ones who are super hot and heavy at the beginning, but then ghost or disappear. Like, I totally get how frustrating that is. And I've talked to thousands of women, and so many women face this. Now, granted, some of this is about men and their behavior, but some of it is also about us. And oftentimes when a woman is told that she's intimidating, or the only men that, kind of win her over are the ones who end up leaving, is because she's actually guarded. Even if she's outgoing, even if she's warm, her heart might be a little bit guarded. So this may be why this is happening, right? Is that we can all be confident in the life of the party and make a witty joke and dress up cute and all of those things, but it doesn't actually mean that we're open to love. We might be feeling scared to get in the wrong relationship, scared to get hurt again, scared that there's something wrong with us, and if someone gets close, they're going to figure it out. And so I've spent plenty of my life feeling like I was the life of the party, but deep down feeling unlovable, or feeling like I was skeptical about love, or had a negative mindset about love. So if you ever find this, I don't want you to change who you are or hide your light or feel like you've got to become just some passive, quiet woman. Like, that's not what this is about. But I do want to encourage you and invite you to really open your heart. And opening your heart doesn't always mean that there's a physical expression of that you need to go and say like, oh, I love everyone. And, like Snow White, where she's flying or walking through the forest and all these little birds are flying around and all of those things. I mean, that's great. But what I mean is to really be grounded in who you are and not pretending and not performing, and also not controlling, right? Like, sometimes we use being the life of the party or being really articulate or really witty as a way to control a conversation because we want to fill the silence, want the other person to like us, or we have an agenda, we have an outcome, and that only gets us so far, right? Like, new relationships are about authenticity. The current modern relationships that really stand the test of time are about authenticity and trust and vulnerability and all of those pieces. So I just am curious if you find that you might be guarding your heart or protecting your heart or nurturing this negative mindset, this skeptical mindset about love, even if on the outside you're going out there, you're putting yourself out there, you're doing all the right things. And one of the things that can happen is that we can create this vicious cycle, right? Like, we go out there more and more, we try to online date, we try to meet people in person, we get more excited or more gregarious, or we try to talk to more people, And then we can get burnt out because we're talking to more people, but our energy is still saying, I'm not ready. I don't believe in love. Like, I'm not ready to let anyone into my life. And so being vulnerable and being open-hearted means selectively being open. Having an open heart just to have an open heart isn't necessarily going to serve you, right? Like, it should be like a swinging door. You can open your heart when needed and you can close it when needed. You don't have to be open-hearted with everyone. And hi, Lori. Hi, Miranda. But it's important to know how to soften your guard and to know if you do have a guard up, or if you're hiding behind your achievements, hiding behind your accomplishments, or hiding behind your personality. So imagine what it would be like if you could go out and about and meet people everywhere you go because you're tapped into your vulnerability, your heart is open, and you're in touch with your feminine energy. And imagine if the right men were approaching you. Of course, people may still tell you you're beautiful, or they still may compliment you or try to approach you, but you can bring a friend's energy to that. You don't have to make that a romantic connection, and you don't have to shame someone for approaching you. They're just letting you know that they like you, or they think that you're interesting, or they want to connect with you. And so part of having an open heart is also being able to roll with the wave of femininity and of people approaching, so that you don't get offended if someone approaches you that you're not attracted to. You don't have to reject them. You don't have to be offended. You can just shift your energy so it's more of like a friend zone thing, and then be like, hey, thanks for coming up to chat with me. Like, I hope you have a good rest of your night. And then just keep moving on. But when you trust yourself to be able to set those healthy boundaries and navigate those conversations without having to reject or protect, then it becomes so much more fun to meet people out and about and to flirt. And this even goes for online too. About half of my clients meet their guy in person, about half of my clients meet their partner online using the apps. And if you're using the apps, your energy does matter, right? Because you start messaging and you can control sometimes in messaging, like, oh, what did you do today? And he says a few things, and you say, I did this, this, and this. And all of a sudden you're sharing with him your to-do list that you accomplished, which is fine, but maybe not super sexy. And so we've kind of been conditioned to where this bravado, or this sense of accomplishment, or this sense of, shining in a certain way or performing in a certain way as a way to protect ourselves. But when we really strip that away, we can share how we feel, the things that maybe aren't going so well, but without sounding whiny. We can share what's really on our heart, what we're longing for, and not second guess ourselves. What would it be like to be on a date and be able to share how you feel and what you're longing for, and have the guy be wanting more, him saying, tell me more, or wow, that's fascinating. And you feel like you're creating this beautiful connection that's getting deeper and deeper and richer and richer. That's the sort of love I want for everyone. I don't want you to feel like you have to change who you are if you get told you're intimidating, but I also don't want you to feel like you have to hide from love or put some bright, shiny outer thing on there, even if you're feeling tender inside. It's okay for a date to know if you're having a tough time with something. It's okay for them to know how you feel, because when you share your vulnerability and when you're in your feminine power, then you get to see how other people respond, and if they're going to respect you, and if they're going to treat you with the same kindness and care that you deserve. So you're learning about them in the process too. So if you ever struggle with getting told that you're intimidating, if you ever struggle with knowing how to get the right sort of attention when you're out in the wild, and if you ever want to attract a higher quality man, then it's important that you learn how to be in your feminine power, how to be vulnerable, and how to stop guarding your heart, even if it's just energetically. Even if you're outgoing, it doesn't mean that your heart is necessarily open. So I love to connect with women on this, because it's, I think, part of my sacred mission is to help women reconnect with their femininity, integrate their head, their heart, and their body, and find and create an incredible love that stands the test of time and still has incredible passion. So if you would like more help with that, go to violetlang.com/talk and book a free Breakthrough to Love session with us. You're going to get a ton of value, clarity, and have a lot of fun on that call. And if we feel like it's a good fit to work together, we'll tell you about our program, Queens of Pleasure. And if not, don't worry about it. But either way, you'll get a lot of insight. And yeah, we really want to work with women who are hungry and ready and committed and have decided that they really want to have love this year, that this is going to be their year, that they have a great relationship. So if that's you, go to violetlang.com/talk and set up your free Breakthrough to Love session, and we'll connect then. Mwah.